when you should actually recommend embalming.
As a funeral arranger, one of the more difficult decisions is knowing when to actually recommend embalming and when to leave it out of the conversation altogether, because it's not always obvious, and getting it wrong can either limit what's possible later or feel unnecessary for the family. So let's make that decision a bit clearer in practical terms. In reality, embalming often sits in a gray area for arrangers. You don't want to sound like you're pushing it, but at the same time, if a family later decides they want a viewing or more time, you may have reduced their options by not mentioning it. So the question isn't really what is embalming. It's when does it actually matter in an arrangement conversation. There are three practical factors that can guide that decision every time. 1. Time. If there's a delay between the date of death and the funeral service, whether that's due to family travel, paperwork, or availability, then embalming becomes something worth discussing. Not because it's mandatory, but because time changes what's possible in terms of preservation and presentation. 2. Viewing intention. The second factor is whether there is any possibility of a viewing or open coffin, and this is important even if the family is unsure at first. If there is even a chance they may want time with their loved one, embalming becomes relevant to mention early, so they understand their options aren't limited later. 3. Condition and circumstances. The third factor is the condition of the deceased and the circumstances surrounding death. Some situations naturally present fewer concerns. Others may require more preparation to achieve the kind of presentation families expect or remember positively. This isn't about judgment, it's about anticipating what will support the best possible outcome for the family. So if you combine those three factors, time, viewing intention, and condition, you start to get a much clearer picture of when embalming should at least be part of the conversation. And importantly, that doesn't mean you can always recommend it in every case. It means making sure families aren't unintentionally losing options because the conversation didn't happen early enough. A simple, balanced way to introduce it is something like this.
If you're thinking you may want to view him or some time with your loved one, embalming can help us preserve them and give us more flexibility with timing.
This keeps it calm, factual, and focused on what the family's trying to achieve, not on the technical process itself. If there's one thing to take away, it's this. Embalming isn't a default decision, it's a situational one. But the earlier it's considered in the arrangement process, the more options you preserve for the family, and that's really what good arranging comes down to.